Leave me alone, man. You're always picking on me.
People are going home because they can't stand.
No, they're not. They went home at 3 o'clock. That's why I done it. It's not 3 o'clock. Right, we're being told off by the old fogies of the numismatic world. Anyway, I'll go, guys. We're going to end the show because we're not allowed to have a show.
What's your fucking language?
What are you going to do about it, Mike?
What's your language?
Right, you just swore at me.
Yeah, I didn't swear at you. I said.
Right, guys, we're gonna call it. Mike, the numismatic man, has just swore at me. So, here I am at Jeremy Clarkson's farm once again. First time I arrived here. This wasn't what it is now. There are hundreds of people here, possibly thousands. And look at this. Take a look at this for a run. This used to be just bare land, and now look at the sheer scale. If you go round here, past this little pond, that was being developed the last time I was here. I mean, it's crazy. Car parking has more or less tripled, quadrupled in size. Walk across the bog area, past the doggies. And I have noticed that there's been a major climaxial change. Even you wonder why the Oxfordshire Council are giving off so much crap, to be honest with you, about it. But if you go over here, look, this used to be all fields. Now watch. Look at this. National exhibition system. It has massively changed from the fields that used to be. Mr. Clarkson, you bad boy, you big bold boy. But I do welcome trade, I do welcome business. Get up here and I'll show you. Look at this, it's just amazing. Look at this. He's everything in there. He's everything in here. There's the car park that used to be just a few things. Look at the crowds. There's the little tiny shop, Diddley Squat Farm, and that's where he used to do all the thing. It's got phenomenal. It's got absolutely crazy. There's people from all over the world coming here. It's become world famous. This is an indicator of someone who's, you know, when put down and tried, has a dream, has a goal, just keeps trying, keeps plodding along, keeps firing it through. This is what I keep going on about with my business. I get problems, I get kicked in the teeth all the bloody time. And I just keep trying. I get down, I lick my wounds, and I keep trying. But by God, Jeremy Clarkson, you know, I've had the pleasure of meeting the man back in his old days of Top Gear, on Top Gear shows. But this is bloody phenomenal. This is a business that has multiplied in massive amounts in such a short time. Look at the sheer scale of this business now. All his fields on the far side, they're all car parks. Hundreds of cars, possibly thousands. Everything. This is called the cereal show at Diddley Squat Farm. He's everything here. He's got a new car parking system being made over there to double or triple his car parking facilities. I am shocked. It was only a year. Hold on, I get passed down this muck trail. Ooh. It was only a year ago that this used to be just a muck path. Now it's full car parking facilities with hedgerows and a gated system. Hundreds of people coming here. This is how business is run, guys, you know. And I know money begets money, but you have to start somewhere. You have to do it somewhere. You have to learn to have your plans strategized out at a very small level. Ultimately, he has continually pushed and pushed until someone had to give. I mean, look, he's using telegraph poles. Have a look. Telegraph poles for parking facilities. He's put that there. So, I don't know. It inspires me a little bit, but it also concerns me a lot, the amount of people that are here. But he's given it a venue. I suppose they're all here for the hope to see the guy. And he doesn't live that far away. I could actually probably point you to his house from here. Maybe I should. Nobody knows. Should we show you? Let's show you his house. Take a look at this. Remember that shed? Now look at it. Crazy. What used to be berthing for sheep is now a Hawkstone bar and a souvenir section. And I was there when it was just a souvenir sheep. But if you look at the back here, just down this road, I'll just show you here. So just down the main road, this is the thing. You got Diddley Squat Farm, and there's a road that goes all the way down there. Just there, roughly about there, on the far side of that field, is Clarkson's house. He blew it up in the Grand Tour, and the last time I was here, I was going to go and drive up and see him, but I thought, that's a bit bad, that's a bit harsh. I didn't do it. Petra. I mean, the place has massively changed, massively changed. Anyway, I'm heading to London, so I just thought I'd come down. I was at the Farmer's Dog last night. I'd done a sale, made some money while I was there. I should actually do a show here and sell some stuff here at Clarkson's farm, Diddley Squat Farm. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll actually do that right now. Why not? Maybe I should run a show and see how it goes. But amazing stuff. I am absolutely, I'm taken back by the sheer, and the staffing. That's another thing. People don't realise, and the councils sometimes don't realise, the employment that this level of desire to make things work for him has brought on this massive economy of scale of people, and therefore staffing, taxes, income for the area. Yes, it's a bit of a mess up, because if you look at the amount of cars coming and going here and the time it took to get in here, it has wrecked the road. So I assume that's all becosted to Jeremy Clarkson. But you cannot deny the undeniable. Look at that for a queue. You cannot deny the undeniable. Look at them all. And there it is, coming and going. Look at them staff, parking attendants, that sort of stuff. People don't see that. They just see a guy who's an ego. Sometimes the way they treat me as well, not as harshly or as widely or as nationally recognised, but ultimately that is how, when you try to build a business, how sometimes people would see you as the enemy, but yet you're creating jobs, you're creating welfare for people, and you know, people are coming here in their masses to buy what? Fucking eggs and milk? They're not here to buy eggs and milks, they're here to have a look at Clarkson, or Clarkson, they've been here. And his film, and I love this place. Why? Because it's Jeremy, and I've been a long-term fan of Jeremy Clarkson for a very long time. Anyway, listen, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to run a show on Whatnot. I'll do some coins, sell some gold and silver. But good talking to you, and I will see you in the next episode. So here I am at the London Coin Show. This is the start of 2 shows here at the weekend. Met some beautiful people so far. They came and said hello to me. Went to see Oliver's Bullion, great guy, and I bought a few bits and pieces of him. Got to go around and buy some bits and pieces for all my shows, but this is the sheer scale of it. Look at the sheer scale of it. Boom. That's what it is. I'm going to do an interview with Oliver later on. We'll talk about spot price and that sort of stuff. Anyone else wants to get involved, we'll look at that as well. But yeah, it's been busy. It's a busy show. Got some really new people that I've got to get and say hello to. Maybe introduce myself on the Irishman. And I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here. We'll turn this around and I'll show you exactly what we're looking at. Look at that for a show. There's so much here. I've just been told that someone actually recently got robbed.
Are you doing this for anyone in particular?
Myself.
Just for you?
Why so?
Need to be getting careful doing close-up shots of any of the dealers.
Okay.
You need permissions to any filming in here.
Okay.
Okay. So I saw you doing it, which is fairly distant shots, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very distant. So,
okay.
So guys, I cut the video because I felt it necessary until I communicated with this guy. This guy, Mike Vaseed, who is the organiser of the Midland Coin Show and the London Coin Show, came across slightly arrogant, egotistical, and actually started being quite bossy to me during this video. I wasn't happy with the way he was speaking to me. He was talking to me with a major amount of contempt. He didn't know who I was, and he didn't even offer me the privilege or the manners to actually explain to me fully what his reason was behind it. He just insisted on acting like his rules, his way. Now, I kind of don't like people that do that. And that, you know, it kind of upset me that day. And then I progressed to find out that during that time, he was bossing other people around, other customers, and telling them to do what he wanted them to do in the show. A bit like a little tiny Stalinist type person. And he was offended me by the fact that he spoke to a girl who was a seller in the show, and he spoke to her also with contempt for taking a picture of a sovereign gold item. This annoyed me to a great height, and I hoped I never saw him again. I stood out of his way, and I gave him a nod when I kept on passing him, but I refused to bow down and say to him, "You got no feckin' manners." However, it didn't stop. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what happened in the next point. He's just a little bit of a dick. And he made himself by being absolutely contemptuous to me and other people in that show who were paying customers. To protect sellers without knowing that, by the way, I am actually also a seller. And the people that he was contemptuous to that reported this back to me also about his behavior were also sellers and probably sell a lot more than anyone in that coin show put together. However, there was no respect given, and therefore it was his rules, his way, and to me, I have a problem with that. So, on with the show. So I've just arrived here at the Midlands Coin Show. As you know, in London, I was actually stopped from filming. Why? Because they felt that it was protecting the sellers on the coin show because of certain thefts that was going on last year. They suddenly think that doing a video inside the coin show is something that will affect their security. Load of nonsense, because if you really want to find out someone and you want to rob them, from my own personal experience, you just look them up. Anyone that has any worth or any value to their business, they kind of know. But let them feel their own policies are important and their desire to not be filmed is vital. They seem to be a pack of fucking arseholes, to be honest with you, from my consequence. I've never seen the likes of it, because these guys, they're really stuck in their ways. It's one of these old, I would say, collector fair type people who have been years at it and they don't change with the times. But anyway, so I'm going to go in, I'm going to buy some silver and gold, and I'm going to probably head on my merry way, because I'm not going to be wasting a day just simply listening to people being told what to do. So not a really good experience so far with the, given the fact that I own a mint. They're not very welcoming for the Irish mint, but there it is. This is making history. This is £150,000. 200,000 pounds. It's not, let him go. Oh, Jesus, there he is.
I'm getting complaints, so that's why I'm
Look, they're gone. You are like the Gestapo of, or the Nazi of coin collecting.
There we go. There we go.
Leave me alone, man. You're always picking on me.
People are going home because they can't stand.
No, they're not. They went home at 3 o'clock. That's why I done it.
It's not 3 o'clock.
Right, we're being told off by the old fogies of the numismatic world. Anyway, I'll go, guys. We're going to end the show because we're not allowed to have a show.
What's your fucking language?
Why? What are you going to do about it, Mike?
No, yeah, easy. What's your language?
Right, you just swore at me.
Yeah, I didn't swear at you. I said.
Right, guys, we're gonna call it. Mike, the numismatic man, has just swore at me. That is the Eastland Coin Show. Can swear at me. All right, guys. Ends that show. Thank you very much, and good night. Sorry, guys.